What is up, my fellow Chibits? Hopefully all of you are having a very great day today, because today I'm here to bring all of you a new anime first impressions on Restaurant to Another World. Now, FYI, this series can be found on Crunchyroll, so don't worry, you don't have to deal with none of that bullshit when it comes to Netflix or Anime Strike, which, oh my god, Amazon, fix your fucking shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I keep getting fucking errors when I try to watch your shows. Like, fuck, dude. Oh yeah, anyways. Restaurant to Another World, Episode 1. I just finished watching it. I gotta say, this was an adorable series, and it's one of those series that's a relaxing series to kind of end off on a Monday. And I don't know what it is, but usually Monday and Tuesday always has these type of series. Always has those series that's just relaxing, and you can conclude your day on. Now, I'm just gonna be completely straight up with all of you. This series, very good. I'm going to continue watching it. However, I don't know if I will continue to review it. The reason why is because of what it's about. It's a good series. Like I said, completely recommend it. But just what it's about in general, which I'll get into, it's just not something I could probably talk about every single week, because it'll probably be similar every single week, but a little bit different. It just depends on what the episodes are really about. So I just want to give an FYI, so if next week comes around and you don't see like an episode 2 review or whatever, well, obviously it's not because I hate the series or I dropped it, it's just because it might be one of those series I just can't review. But I do want to give him first impressions because it was a fun first episode. So, anyways, what is Restaurant to Another World about? Well, just like the title says, it's based on a restaurant, and it's in, I guess you could say, like another world. Now, the big catch here is that there's a fantasy world. Like, all these different fantasy worlds, we don't know if they're necessarily connected all into one, but there's a different world that they're connected to this restaurant. And so these doors appear magically. We don't know necessarily how it happens, but a door appears, and the people in these other worlds, they can come through the door and then come to this restaurant. When they come to this restaurant, they can order food from the chef, and the chef makes the food they want, and then they'll be on their way after they pay the chef. And then that's how the actual show is about. Now, it sounds very simplistic, but it's a very cheerful show, and it seems like it might have some good messages and themes throughout just because of how the first episode was done, and it has a very delightful a bit of animation throughout this, first episode. So, I mean, it's one of those series to where, like I said, it's a relaxing series. It's like one of those series, you just sit down, and you just relax. You lean back in your chair, turn it on, get your cup of coffee, cup of tea, food, snacks, whatever, and just watch. That's what it is. That's the type of series Restaurant to Another World is, and I enjoyed that myself, because I like these type of series. It's very chillax, and I can really appreciate something that could just make me wind down after, like, a very busy day or something, and that's what it is. So, the first episode, basically, it opens up with showcasing some of the customers. A lot of these customers are very different, and oddly enough, in normal life, I would assume these people wouldn't get along. Like, if they were in the regular environment, most likely the customers that were in this, restaurant, they probably would never communicate, they probably wouldn't get along at all, they most likely could possibly become enemies. But because of how this restaurant is designed, people that might be enemies could possibly come in together and just have fun and eat, because they realize that they cause any trouble, they start any shit, then they will obviously never be able to get food ever again from this place. So they wind down and they just enjoy the food that they are given. Now, in this type of series, normally when you think of a restaurant series, food series, whatever, you think of like Food Wars, you think of like Foodgasms. That's the big thing everybody thinks about when it comes to these type of series. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was surprised that this series didn't go into that, because I've seen recent series that try to kind of copy Food Wars, try to have Foodgasms and stuff, but this series doesn't try to do that. It doesn't try to copy Food Wars, it doesn't try to have, like, Foodgasms and stuff. It just has characters enjoying eating and having fun. That's what it is. You just see a character put some food in their mouth, they don't do that Foodgasm stuff, like, this is delicious and all that, and you just see how they enjoy it. So, it's a nice breath of fresh air, honestly, because nowadays, when you think of, like, series that have food and stuff in it, there always has to be Foodgasms, and I really like how this series tries to be mellow and not try to go over the top with exaggerated expressions. Now, don't get me wrong, I like that in Food Wars and some other series, but I'm just glad to have something that's different and doesn't try to copy Food Wars. Now, speaking of which, of Food Wars, there is some fan service. Like Food Wars, this does have some fan service, but it was unexpected fan service, which I was like, bro. So there's this dragon girl that owns a lot of treasure. She's like a legendary dragon, and she shapeshifts into a humanoid form, and in her form, she's obviously completely nude. And I'm like, bro, like, whoa, there's unexpected fan service. I'm like, bro, like, oh my god, like, there's a lot of female characters in, this from this season of anime that are kind of waifu status. I'm like, damn. But, anyways, when she appeared, I'm like, holy crap. And she was a very unexpected character. Besides just fan service, I expected her to be like an asshole or something, or like someone that was just, I don't know, someone that just was very awful or rude, but she wasn't like that, honestly. She was very nice, passionate, and even when the girl, the maid, or the waitress, actually, she came up and joined the chef to help him out, she was like, oh, something new was added to my possessions, my treasure, and then she protects this girl at the end of the episode. So she's a very caring and kind individual, which is very unexpected because of what she is and who she is. I thought she was going to be rude or whatever, but no. So that was a nice, welcome personality from her. And then also the other main female character that was introduced, the waitress. I don't really know the names yet, so forgive me if I don't know the names. But the other main female character, I guess the only main female character, because I don't know if the dragon is going to be a main. But, basically, the waitress, she tells us her story of how, like, she's a demon and all that, and she has no place to go, society doesn't really like, her kind or like her in this certain town, and so she had really no place to stay, nothing to eat, she was starving. Eventually, she wandered off into this restaurant, and then, obviously, she got a job there, and so that's kind of where the story begins. So if you're into relaxing anime that can be slice-of-life-ish, but with fantasy elements, then go ahead and, watch this. Now, I don't know exactly how far this series is gonna take the fantasy elements besides just characters that look like, elves or dwarfs or whatever. I really do hope that the chef, since he's making food, I hope the chef makes exotic food, like food that you've never seen before, food from, like, other cultures, like from fantasy worlds. I would like that. That would be really cool if the series dives into something like that. But overall, though, it was a good first episode. It was delightful. So, if you want to watch something, Go for it. Just go give it a shot. You might like it, you might not. It just really depends on what type of show you like. But I'm definitely going to continue watching this. So you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.